Test test. Cool. Just on my mic. Hey, how's it going? Gonna get started here in just a sec. Waiting for the crew to show up for D&D. Got a little setup here. Just cut off. Not the right thing. There we go. Alright, looks like Jazzy's coming on in about 5 minutes. I think that's where Jazzy puts her dealy mo bobber, her avatar. Do we got a whiz-waz or anything? I need nitro for this crap. Watching that. Getting pinged. Actually, I don't know Jazzy's Twitter. Fresh. EH. Still at 0. Oh, here we go. I feel like my stuff's always getting adjusted. I feel like William's down here playing on my stuff. Like she's testing out her mic and stuff. Alright, might hop on a game for a couple minutes, just until they join. Mess around for a bit until everybody's ready. Who's the mystery man? I have notes. put in my D&D notes or specifically for them? Where did I store my notes for this game? Got it. Found it. In session 1, in new section 14, not helpful. The key masters. Alright, yeah, we're still waiting for people to come on. Wrong game. Hey, how's it going? Okay.
Fate said if he escapes the clutches of Target, he might.
Jeez.
Bunch of slackers. Well, Fate is not scheduled to be here today, so that would have just been a makeup day. So she's excused.
Gotcha.
Everybody else, I don't know. It is what it is, I suppose.
Yep. To be fair, I usually tell my D&D group the game starts at like 5:30 when we play on Sundays, and they roll in around 6, which is actually when I want to start. So having people come in a little late is pretty usual, I feel.
That my game works, but it's also because we've known each other for like a decade. So he's usually talking about BS.
Yep.
Or usually everybody else is talking about BS, and I just have it on mute while I do other stuff until we actually start playing. But sometimes I do participate in the BS.
Yeah.
But I know they're never on time, so I usually just goof off until somebody calls me or something. At any rate, so we can just get started with your recap stuff, and then whoever shows up after that, we can go on with them. So, what do you remember from last game?
So I missed last game, unfortunately. Yeah.
That you
Last game I
remember.
played? Yeah. So essentially meeting the entire party, doing that journey to the town, just outside of kind of like where we're staying, and dealing with a creature, humanoid at the bottom of the well, and kind of talking him into leaving this place. It's like a source for power kind of a thing. And going back to kind of the Keymaster Hall and receiving, or I guess it was the mayor or the person who hired us from the town that gave us a section of a staff. And then we went back and rested at the hall for the Keymasters.
Okay, yes. So, in between missions is usually heavily suggested that you take a few days rest just to restore and recuperate.
Sure.
So during that time, what would you have done?
Uh, tried to identify that staff. If there was anybody in the hall or anything, I would have tried to definitely find out any information about it. I don't know if it's like identifiable without all of the pieces, but definitely would have been something I was digging into.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely take the staff up to one of the people in the front area that you're familiar with, unless you just want to ask a random.
No, yeah, preferably definitely somebody that I had interacted with previously. Um or at least maybe that I thought would be scholarly enough to assist.
Yeah, so you have the option of the person that you met your first day when you initially showed up with your key, or the person you met on your first mission that gave you, or they didn't give you the mission, but they are usually in charge of handing out missions. But you
Sure,
got the mission from a separate individual. So those are the two people that are usually in the front hall at a desk that
sure.
people come up to for various questions and services.
Yeah, I think definitely starting with maybe using my intuition a little bit of which one I think is a bit more knowledgeable. I think one of them was the dwarf cleric Sydney, but they were kind of like disgruntled and doing paperwork, I think.
You are mixing up disgruntled characters. Well, okay, one is disgruntled and the other
Sure.
one is just kind of like no nonsense
Okay.
matronly. So one is like more or less openly hostile, and the other one is just kind of like just don't do anything stupid and we're fine.
Okay. I
But yeah, so the one doing paperwork, that was Agatha, and so that's who you think would probably be more knowledgeable at identifying things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So there was Agatha and Sydney, right?
Yeah, Sydney is a cleric who offers her services if you don't have a healer or something in your
Okay.
party.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll walk up to Agatha. I guess it'd be probably like the next day. I think we had decided to go back to our rooms or whatever. And essentially, yeah, see if they have the ability to do something as simple as identify, or if they just have any general knowledge about what it could be.
Okay, yeah, so you can definitely approach her at her desk. She, as per usual, as you would have seen in the days that passed, always kind of there sorting through paperwork. You don't know if there's just a lot of paperwork or if she's just super meticulous or maybe both. But she just always seems to be doing something paperwork when she's at the desk. And when she's not at the desk, who knows what she's doing?
Just one sec. My son's talking to me. Just one sec. Fighting sleep. All right. Sorry. I missed the end of that. My apologies.
Um, up to what point did you hear?
Yeah. So essentially, we had decided to go speak with Agatha. And then, yeah, sorry. Kind of missed what you were explaining when she was detailing the staff.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you go up to her desk. As usual, she's there with a bunch of paperwork in front of her that she seems to be sorting, copying things down. As you have noticed throughout the days of you being here, that she is often doing paperwork in some form or another. But you don't know if she just has a lot or if she's just really meticulous or
Yeah.
what. Okay, so when you go up to her, do you explain what the
Yeah. I
situation is?
say, um, when we performed our kind of quest that we went out to, the township gave me this. I'm not sure if this is magical anyway, or like I just don't know enough about why this would be given to us for a reward. But if there's any way to kind of identify what it is, or if you had any knowledge of this, like in terms of is it a tradition or something weird like that, it would be helpful because I'd be curious if it has any properties that would be helpful to maybe they had any leads, I guess, for how to complete it.
She kind of looks at the staff. She seems mildly curious about what it is, considering it's just like a part of it. It's very obviously a part of the staff and not a whole staff.
Yeah.
Before taking it from you and just kind of analyzing it, rotating in her hands, looking at it from end to end, like observing the craftsmanship of it. Okay, I could definitely look into this. Hold on just a moment. And she walks away from her desk to a back room. You hear a door open kind of around the corner, and she's gone for a few minutes. And when she returns, she is holding the staff and she looks um disgruntled in a different way than is her usual expression. Like usually she looks vaguely annoyed uh at existence perhaps. But right now she looks like she's mildly confused. So she approaches the desk and holds the staff out in front of her, kind of looking at it like it wronged her somehow. Well, it's definitely magical, but I can't figure out to what extent. Maybe because this isn't the whole thing. Where did you say you got this again? For doing a quest? Which quest?
Yeah, we went to one of the neighboring towns. I don't know if we got a name or not, but and we helped them out with an issue that they were having, and as a reward, this is what they presented me.
Hmm. I'll have to send somebody to look into it then. Uh, do you care if I hold on to this, or are you attached?
I wouldn't mind holding. I would definitely prefer to hold on to it. But what I can do is if it has any like particular markings or anything like that, would I be able to either do like an etching or kind of draw out what it would essentially look like?
So you want to know if there's anything you can
I have
maybe?
like parchment and stuff and like charcoal and like just basic tools. But I was curious if it was detailed enough that I could like make it look obviously like this is what the staff looks like, or is it just kind of like a wooden rod?
It's definitely made of some sort of like metal blend. You don't think it's like the strongest metal or anything, but it seems like it's just like an amalgamation of metals combined to give it a golden hue, and it doesn't really look very distinctive,
Okay,
other than the fact that it looks like it's only half of something.
sure. I would prefer to hold on to it, but maybe if you could ask around, um, maybe about that town or anything, because I don't know if it's not distinctive enough. I'm not sure it would help somebody look at it, but if you feel it's critical, I could probably part with it.
She gives a long suffering sigh and just hands the staff back to you. I'll just call you if we need to look at it again. In the meantime, I'll just send somebody to the town to investigate further.
I appreciate it.
And and she assumes this conversation is over and just goes back to her paperwork unless
Okay.
you say anything further.
No, I'm good. I think I would essentially just try to do my own research on that town if possible. If books like that exist or anything about history or
So you're looking for like either a history book or like a book of maps or
yeah, just anything related to that town, I guess.
okay, yeah, there's definitely like library area that's open to the general public of the guild hall that you could investigate in, trying to find more details about the town to see if it can unlock anything that might be relevant to the staff. So if you just want to give me either an investigation or a history, or if you have something else that you think might be beneficial to use, and just explain to me how you would use it, you can use that
Yeah.
instead.
So I could do I'll do a history check, I guess. It should
Okay.
roll, right? Why aren't you rolling? So 21.
Okay, so yeah, with the 21, you can definitely find information about the town.
And I'm more
The
like specifically, I guess, like I know obviously like you gotta like skim the book and that sort of thing, but anything about like relics or heirlooms or anything related.
okay, yeah, so you get information about the town, and you find out that it is just like a small little village with a mostly peaceful history. There have been a few occurrences of, a handful of notable like battles or magical happenings that have happened, but nothing there really hints towards the staff in particular. You think it could potentially be related to one of those magical mishaps, but just based on them being magical and the staff being some kind of magic, but it's missing pieces.
Sure.
But there's nothing that strikes you as directly 100% guaranteed related.
Okay.
Do you do anything else in relation to the staff?
Um no, I think I'm good.
Okay. So is the staff something that you keep on your person, or are you putting it back in your room or somewhere?
Um yeah, I'll see if there's some type of like a sash or a like a leather strap that I can wear under my cloak or around my waist or something that I could kind of like make kind of like a holster for it, or if they had anything like that available.
Yeah, you could definitely find something to fashion a holster with around, as long as it's nothing too high quality in terms of material that could
Yeah,
be.
just like a basic, even if it's cloth or leather, anything really.
Yeah, you can definitely find that somewhere. And then just for funsies, let me see something. Mm, Um, okay, so the closest equivalent I can think of for crafting is performance. So I just want to see how high quality this little poster is, just for kicks and giggles.
You said the roll performance.
Yeah.
20, natural 20 plus 1.
Wow. Yeah. So you just find some miscellaneous scraps of material and fashion what looks to be a really high quality holster for this staff. It's surprisingly sturdy, despite this not being something you do a lot, presumably.
Awesome.
Now you think this will serve you well in holding on to this mysterious staff piece?
Yeah, and I kind of imagine it like a normal staff holder, but maybe it's just a lot. Yeah, because it's just part of a staff. I can still kind of hold the rod, or I'm assuming I have the rod piece where it's missing kind of definition and stuff. So, or a section of rod, I guess.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like it connects one end. One end looks finished, and the other end looks like it connects to something else.
Okay. Yeah, I think other than that, I'd probably just hang out, keep my ears open in terms of like anything that's opening up, or if they're looking to send people out, or just reading my books and seeing what the rest of the group is doing, and maybe tagging along if they were doing anything. For sure. And I guess like out of character or whatever, like canonically, would my character have joined them in the last game, or would I have kind of hung out? Maybe it took me a little bit longer to get the information, or something along those lines.
Just based on the way the game is structured, is if you're not here, then your character's just hanging out in the guild
Okay,
hall
cool.
for whatever reason.
Yep. No, that's totally fine.
Unless you want to have your character be volunteerable for when you're not here.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the kind of like drop in, drop out approach.
It's definitely the other one who told me he wasn't going to be here, so we need.
Yeah, and if sorry, if we do run into a situation where like absolutely no one else is coming, I don't mind holding off and that sort of thing. But or if they show up in half an hour, deal with it. At Zeldin Lord, have you become one of the nappers?
It's just like a curse. They just take turns. It transfers like the plague.
Passed out from all the heat today, probably.
Fair. That is something that maybe could have happened. I've been inside all day, but it's still humid and yucky because I didn't have my air on for a little bit because I don't like being cold. And also, the vent blows right into my lizard's tank, and so I don't want him to be cold either.
Gotcha.
Well, we could just do a miscellaneous side quest in the meantime. So, does your character have any sort of like personal quest or something that they were trying to fulfill while they were joining this Keymaster Guild? Like, did they have a ulterior motive?
So, just 1 second here. Going back to my description. What? Maybe I put it in notes. So essentially, like in my character's backstory, I had kind of made it so I kind of stumbled upon like researching essentially. So I would have been like from another plane or whatever, like everybody else. But I was kind of like searching through kind of like the mausoleums and libraries of the Drow Undercities to um essentially gather more details. And I found kind of a tomb of like an ancient god that I'm gonna kind of link to like a side campaign that I've got going on. But essentially it was about him being able to like touch entities, and I kind of had written in I can't remember who I originally, it might have been Devoted Bard when he was originally asking for people's stuff and how they found it, but my character was trying to understand how this like ancient creature was banished by the Keymasters. And I don't know if that's possible to go through, but essentially I'm trying to understand the key behind their, like, no pun intended, I guess, key to what their source of power is, and the whole like us being able to go between planes and what they're all about. It's not really like a malicious I want to know. It's more of a, can I use that knowledge or power of how they're doing it for like for like personal gain.
Hmm. Okay, so you're trying to investigate the guild and
Yeah,
the history of it, kind of just to see how it works and how it could benefit you potentially.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Did you want to look into the library for something like that, or maybe talk to the people around?
Um, would there be like a character, or would I have noticed, or am I like high enough in the group, like the order, I guess, because like obviously we just got here kind of a thing, that I would know of like a figure or a council or anything like a governing body, I guess. Would I have any knowledge of that?
Hierarchy within the guild, or like in
Yeah,
the area the guild is located
the
in?
guild itself, yeah.
Uh, you would know from the history of it that there is kind of like a structure based on seniority and such, but considering for all intents and purposes, the guild was wiped out, other than these few people that are kind of that seem like they're in charge.
Sure.
There isn't really people with seniority as such, as everybody is fairly new.
Would I be able to find any information either documented? I'll probably try to see if there's any documentation first of how they were wiped out or why there'd be so few members, because from like my understanding, and I know this is like background, whether it's valid or not is totally fine. We can change that, but my understanding is they were far more powerful, I guess, and understanding like why they're not in that state anymore.
Right. So, just kind of the basic history that everybody kind of in the vicinity and maybe far reaching, because it was kind of a cataclysmic event that this guild was wiped out. So, it kind of, the story about it kind of spread. You would know that nobody is really quite sure what happened to the previous guild hall members, and just that they kind of vanished. And it is a thing that people have been looking into, but they've also found that some of those people that were investigating have also kind of gone missing, or at least haven't reported back in quite a while.
Would I be able to, like, if I got that information from a book, this um Would it mention any like locations or anything they were investigating, or is it just kind of a generic like, hey, we used to have so many members, and then an event happened and they're looking into it, like almost like diary style, or is it more of like a couple pages of text kind of saying an event happened kind of a thing?
Okay, ask that question one more time.
Yeah, no worries. Is it like, if I'm researching this in books, is it kind of like a diary type situation where somebody is writing it and they're detailing their investigation, or is it more of like a section of a book just saying like this event happened?
It's kind of like the equivalent of like a newspaper where it's just
Okay.
kind of saying this is what happened and this is what happened after. Like somebody was keeping records.
Okay. Would it be authored? Like, would I be able to see like a name of who wrote this?
Yeah, you would see the signature at the bottom,
Would it?
and it would be a name that is familiar to you.
Okay.
I want you to take a guess.
Agatha?
Good job.
Awesome.
She takes her job of paperworking very seriously, clearly.
All right. So I'm going to kind of hold that to my chest a little bit, I guess, then. Not going to
Okay.
approach her yet simply because she's dealing with the staff stuff or plans on doing something. So, um, I the town wasn't crazy far, right? It was only like
It was like
a couple hours or
maybe,
something.
yeah, like an hour or two. Pretty easy walking distance.
So,
So
yeah, so like timeline wise, I'm assuming that maybe my character got caught up in research and didn't see the other party leave, because I'm assuming they went and did something. Um and then just kind of in my own anxiousness or impatience, I think I'm going to take a trek back to the town.
okay, yeah, that's definitely something that you can do. Is there anything in particular that you take with you as you make this um,
Just some small
journey?
stuff, some snacks and stuff. Like, I'm not expecting it to be a long journey, but like I think we grabbed some rations and stuff previously, so
Yeah.
that's probably fine.
Okay. So you can definitely bring a couple rations.
Yeah, and then just my normal stuff, like good to go. So I'll just kind of head out.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way to this somewhat familiar journey to the town where you were gifted this staff. It is relatively early in the day. Well, actually, how early would your character have gotten up?
I would say like I'm not an early riser, but yeah, like I probably spent the morning researching.
Okay, yeah, so it's fairly early, probably like noonish or so, as you make your way on this somewhat familiar trek to this town. And just roll me a straight D4.
Uh oh, over here. Oh, a 3.
A 3? Okay. So yeah, you. It's messing with right here, so it's trying to do both at the same time. All right. Yeah. So you make your way through these woods, and the thing did not show up. Oh, and then you just know. So like it didn't show up on the thing, but that's okay. Oh, actually, I want to make sure it should because everybody else's work. But I want to make sure your token works
Cool.
when you log in to roll 20. And I did set up tokens so we can do token stuff. And I do have maps sometimes. It's getting real advanced over here.
Awesome. I'm gonna get into roll 20 real quick. Look at that. It keeps me in the game and I just launch it. There we go. Oh my goodness. This, I don't want a tour. Good. I'm just getting spammed by roll 20 right now. Got like ad spammed. There we go.
Oh. Okay, yeah. So as you're walking through the woods to this town, you'll spot a random person kind of meandering their way through the woods as well. And when they spot you, they make an immediate beeline in your direction. It doesn't seem aggressive, but they are walking straight towards you determinedly.
Okay. I'll just kind of loud enough for them to hear it if they're like a distance away. It's like, how can I help you?
They when you start speaking and ask how you can help them, they give you a wide toothy grin. I use the word toothy loosely because it appears that they are missing some of said teeth. And as they get closer, you take in their appearance, and they do seem to be rather homely looking. You suspect that this person is probably a vagrant of some sort. They approach
Um,
and you think they're trying to be like charming or something as they like prepare themselves to speak to you. They're like, ah, yes, hello, fellow traveler. My, I haven't seen anybody in these woods for a while, which it could be true, but the path that you're on in between these towns is
yeah.
pretty well traveled, and these towns are kind of close together, so people kind of pass through here at all times of the day. Uh, you see, I had terrible misfortune with an owl bear. Yes, and I happened to lose all my rations. Would you happen to be able to spare any?
Yeah, I definitely can. And I'm just going to keep an eye on him. In the case I feel he gets hostile or anything, not prepping it, but I'm getting ready to cast Longstrider if I need to. Just so I can run from this guy. I don't feel like killing a random guy, but if I have to, I'll cast that. But for now, I'll grab like a ration or two and hand it to him.
He takes it from you gratefully. He's like, "Ah, thank you, stranger. You're very kind to help somebody."
And I'll just say there's a town just however far I'm away. Like if I'm an hour away, I'll just be like, hey, just a few kilometers or an hour from here. Um, if you're looking for some food or a place to stay, I'm sure you could find one. And I'm just gonna kind of just start walking in that direction.
Like follow, or just like I gave you the food and now I'm leaving?
Yeah, more of the second one. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. He thanks you profusely a few more times, and then just proceeds his way in the direction he seemed to be heading before, which you're not quite sure where exactly he's going.
Okay.
But
Can
he's not
I?
going in the direction of the town. He's going somewhere else for whatever reason.
Does it look like he's just going like deeper into the woods, or?
I mean, yeah, it just seems like he's wandering through the woods. You don't know if he just stays here or if there's some place that he knows in that direction. If you're from another plane and also the Underdark or what have you, you're not really familiar with this area. So
Yeah.
for all you know, there might be something over there.
Okay. I'm going to take note of the direction he's heading, but I'm going to keep heading towards the town.
Fair enough.
Could I, like, if this is a trail or anything, would I be able to kind of like mark a tree in the direction so I would like definitely remember where it was?
Yeah, if you wanted to mark in the tree somehow, just to as a reminder to yourself when you pass through here again, you could do that.
Okay, I'm just gonna haul out a dagger. I've just got like a simple dagger, and I'll just do a marking that's kind of like large enough that I would notice it if I was walking by it, like kind of on the side where if I'm walking back, I'll see it, but not big enough that it like kills the tree or the bark or anything like that.
Okay, yeah. So you make a mark in the tree that's distinguishable enough to see, but not to kill enough to kill the tree or something, which would be a pretty crazy blow to just do casually anyway.
Yeah,
So it would be likely that
I
you would
think I have
kill it.
childhood trauma of my father telling me when I cut into a tree that I was going to kill it, and I just got that in my like getting.
Trees are surprisingly sturdy. There's
Yeah,
like a crabapple tree right in front of my mom's door, and she dumped 2 bottles of bleach, and it's still just chilling.
yeah, I suppose that makes way more sense. But yeah, I'll just put a little arrow gash in it and be on my way.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that, and then I just want to pause real quick because Gabby commented owlbear. Yeah, an owlbear is a thing in D&D. It's a big owl-like bear that is dangerous and will murder you. It sounds goofy, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm not
It's not
excited
goofy.
about the idea of taking one on by myself. So, assuming this
Yeah,
guy
and
is
then
actually,
yeah, you're not quite sure if he was being for real or if he was
yeah,
just trying to tell you something to convince you to give you food. But you quicken your pace a little bit just so that you don't find out.
cool. So yeah, I just keep heading towards the town.
And I just updated the slideshow because I want to make sure it works first.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Neat. Great. Love to see it. Okay. So yeah, you finally arrive in the familiar little town from a few days prior. You just where do you go first?
I I'll stop just if they have like a bar or a tavern or anything. I will stop and just like grab a drink, even if it's just like a cart or something, and just pay a little bit closer attention to the town and its people and just get a sense of the vibe of it to see if maybe I missed something the last time I was here before kind of trying to track down the guy who gave it to me.
Okay, yeah, there is absolutely a tavern here that you can go in and just kind of people watch. Um, if you want to just roll me an investigation just to see if you notice anything noteworthy,
Holy crap.
and also if you
It's like all on the high end of rolls today. 22. Yeah, I'll order a drink. They have wine or meat or something. I'll get something.
okay, yeah, so you can definitely order some wine and then just kind of sit there idly people watching. Where did that thing go?
Where'd my dice roll go? Did I clear it?
I tried to multitask and then the multitasking is failing.
No worries. It rolls up in roll 22,
Okay.
right? It is not in. Why is it not showing up in roll 20? Hey, it was an 18 plus 4. Second here. Why are they not showing? I'm gonna do another roll real quick and just see if it shows up. That didn't show up either. Maybe I will re-log into D&D Beyond. Train song.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I gotta be quiet now while Fate enjoys his theme song.
Oh yeah.
At any rate, Gabby, this is an owl bear. And no, Fate, there are no owl bears here. We were just talking about one, and Gabby seemed puzzled.
Wrong campaign. Selection. Campaigns.
Did you escape
Keymaster.
target, or are you still in its clutches? Not you saying, aw, did you want? Fate is praying for your downfall.
All good.
You'd pet it. It'd be the last pet you pet.
Alright, gonna try another
I mean, to
roll.
be fair, I guess bears are kind of cute also and will murder you, so it like that tracks. Worth it. Okay. So either Gabby will be murdered by petting the wrong thing or peanut butter sandwiches, whatever comes first. Yeah, we're going to technically get the 14 as well. I'm at 5 right now, but it's good. Collectively, technical difficulties. There was like an update or something, and so it was like jacking up attack rolls, but it should. We think it's fixed now,
Okay.
so that might be why yours just isn't working at
Did
all.
you have to update the add-in?
I didn't have to update anything, but some people did update theirs. I don't know if they had to, but they just did it
Sure.
when the stuff stopped working.
So if I go here, roll for everybody.
I also don't roll from a character sheet very often, so I didn't really need to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see
yeah.
when everybody else's thing didn't work, and I also tried, and it also didn't work. So it's how we knew it was an everybody thing and not just a one person thing.
Manage extensions. My extension is gone. That is why that's happening. Roll
Ah,
20 Beyond extension. It must have been in my temp folder because I was running some issues not too long ago when I deleted my entire temp folder and I lost a lot of settings. So it must be one of the reasons. Beyond 20. I think it's this one. extension. Do I need to restart? Or am I good? Roll for everybody. That didn't work. I'm going to restart Chrome. Do I have to close both though? Extensions, manage extensions. We've got it. Is it beyond 20 you're using?
Yes.
Yep. Come on. Campaigns. E-masters. It's showing the icon now, so it should be good. What did that say? No virtual tabletop something something?
If you don't have the Roll20 open, it'll give you a weird message.
Roll20.
For clarification purposes.
Yeah.
Before you went to the town, did you tell Agatha you were gonna look into it, or did you just like think it to yourself?
I just kind of did it.
Okay.
Okay, back in the game. Now I go to this. My goodness, what is going on here? Click 20. There we go. All right, so all right, awesome. There, so it's there. So I'll just roll the perception check again. Just 1 second here. Or it wasn't perception, it was investigation. Yeah, which I'm better at. There we go.
Or you could do insight too. I guess it depends what you're looking for exactly.
17. So I'm. Oh, Zeldin Lord is in Aruba.
Yeah, he did tell me that, and I forgot that it was today that he was doing that.
Gotcha.
We could potentially have a fate. We just have to make it so that you are in a place that he can get.
Yeah.
So, working on it. So for now, you can just continue your fake outs.
And for like sake of ease, I could always have told Agatha that I was going to go check out the town. So if she finds anything, I'll follow up with her later. Or anything like that. Well, yeah, that's totally fine. But yeah, just kind of listening people while I take in my drink, and I'm not looking for like anything in particular. Just more of kind of like a vibe. Like, is this town okay? Are people just living their lives normal? Like, is there anything a bit more off other than just the well thing? Because maybe, I guess where my train of thought is where this guy was here drawing power. Like maybe there was more to the story that we didn't quite get to.
Yeah, so you're observing the people in this town, in this tavern, trying to compare and see if anything is different or altered or like negatively impacted by that entity that you encountered a few days ago. Just trying to compare if it had an impact, or if presence of it having left affected the town in any way. And as you just kind of idly observe as you sip your drink, it doesn't look as if the town is experiencing anything strange currently. Because previously, if you looked hard enough, you did note a few things that had been out of place somewhat. Like examples, there was newer buildings next to older buildings, or there was an influx of just kind of small things that seems mildly out of place, but not weirdly so.
Sure.
And now you know a distinct lack of that happening now. So you could take this as confirmation that the entity did keep up their end of the bargain
Yeah,
and
like there's no
move on.
wishes and stuff. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just kind of finish my drink up. I'll leave. What do I have for money? 10 gold. I'll leave like. Will D&D Beyond let me convert this easily?
Edit the amount of money you want.
I actually don't know what EP is. I don't think I ever used EP. EP. They've got platinum, gold, something, silver, and copper. What is EP? Yeah.
It's an element.
Electrum. Interesting.
Whatever it is, it's like one over gold.
Yeah, I've never used Electrum in campaign. Okay, cool. Well, let me convert it. Or am I'm just adding coin. I don't want to do that. I'll just give him like 10 silver, like, or whatever seems generous, I guess, for the wine. I'll figure out how to convert this here in a bit.
Did it say Electrum automatically? Is that just what's on your sheet?
No, I've got 10 gold, but I'm trying to figure out how to subtract it.
Oh, so gold works like regular.
Oh, wait, I just go 25 silver, and then I go remove. Failed to remove. Currency type is currently 0. 1 gold is 10 silver. So I have 100 silver. I will remove my 10 gold.
100 silver.
It's 10 silver per gold, right?
Yeah. And then
I'm gonna go
copper per silver, so like money. Like
yeah, I'll just so what glass of wine is what? Glass of wine. Silver.
I feel like 10 silver is definitely generous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just something, yeah.
You want to be that generous, or if you want me to actually give you a wine price so that you know how much over you want to give.
No, I'll just do that. I'll just give him 10 silver and carry on. And I'll try to go where I don't think I know where he lives, so maybe I'll ask the bartender.
Where who lives?
The I get a name. Miles. Was it Miles or is yeah, the town, yeah, the guy who gave me the staff. But I think Miles was the person was from the guild hall, I believe. So I don't yeah, I don't remember this guy's name, so I don't know if he was the mayor, or I'll just kind of describe him, like if he had a beard or hair or anything, if they're familiar with him.
You could just be like, looking for the town leader, and everybody would know who you were talking about.
Sure.
Also, I believe it was a woman, if I remember correctly. So yeah, they would be able to lead you to where they are located. At this time of day, they are in the main building in the middle of town.
Sure.
That's usually where they spend most of their daytime hours, unless otherwise preoccupied. So you could just make your way back to that familiar building.
All right. So yeah, I'll just kind
And
of
you
head
see
there.
them at the desk. They seem to be somewhat half-heartedly reading through some scrolls. It looks like they are very uninterested in whatever is written on them as you make your way inside.
Okay. And I'll just kind of present myself and be like, hey, long time no see. Just kind of jokingly and just essentially tell him that I've been obsessing over this wonderful gift that they presented us for helping them out, but there doesn't seem to be much information on it, and it's obviously not complete. Is there any anything you can tell me about the history of the staff? I'm super interested.
Oh, you again. Yeah, I can tell you what I know. It's not none of much, so hopefully you won't be disappointed. But so this staff was something that one of the townspeople found themselves collecting in one way or another. The story was a little strange, I'll admit, but they said that they found it in one of their fields after a thunderstorm. Something about a loud noise, and then they looked outside and it was just there, which probably was just thunder because it was a thunderstorm. But they said no, no, it was different. They were very adamant that it was not the sound of thunder, but there wasn't really any way to prove that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I'm gonna say I'm just gonna kind of like take myself aback and be like, "Oh, I'm completely sorry. We didn't properly introduce ourselves." And I'm gonna tell him my name. I'll be like, "I am Vitanis. Uh, I missed your name."
Oh, right. Silly me. Yes, you can call me L, like ELLE.
Did
I
this?
apologize if I didn't introduce myself properly before.
You may have. I'm fairly absent-minded at times. Does this town have a name as well? Would I have caught it?
Yes. The town you would have got the name would have been on the little card full of information you had gotten, and you might recall it if you if you have a bad memory. Maybe you wouldn't, but if you asked the town leader, like, yeah, this is Barrowsburg.
Okay. Barrows. Cool. All right. I'm gonna say that's a interesting story. Would you happen to know what field this happened at? And was it recently?
Yeah, that was Farmer Smith's field. It was about oh 2 months ago or so. I could definitely point you to it. He's probably out there. He can tell you exactly where he found it.
And I'll just kind of be like, thank you. I'm going to make my way there, enjoy the town for a bit, and head back. I appreciate your hospitality.
assistance with our little wish matter?
Anytime. And I'll just kind of turn away and start heading in kind of the general direction he advised me, and kind of look for the farm and see if I can identify anybody to ask for kind of the general area.
Yeah, so you make your way in the direction that you were directed. And if you recall, this is a fairly small town. So if you keep walking in that direction, you will eventually. The part you're in currently is kind of the like the shop area with like the tavern and the inn,
Yeah.
the
So it's
maybe the
less of like
Aldi's and stuff
a
like that.
farm, the farm. Like it's not one of many farms. It's probably like the farm kind of a deal.
Yeah, you would assume it's probably just like if not the only one, maybe there's two. So
Sure.
it's probably easy to find. So once you make your way through that, you'll get to kind of the residential area, loosely packed together houses, and then on the edge of that, you'll see something of a bigger house and a barn of sorts, and then just open land with no trees and such. And you would be confident in your assumption that this was likely the farm in question.
Okay. So I'll kind of walk up to. It doesn't have to be Farmer Smith, but like any type of field hand or anybody kind of tending the field, and just present myself and just say, "Hey, I'm looking into an event I heard you experienced here in the field. I was curious if you could point me in the direction of where this, whether it was a lightning strike or where you would have found the staff, I guess, or where you would have the farmer Smith would have found an object if they're familiar with it."
Yeah, so you make your way over to whoever is the first available person, and you will come across a small child who seems small even for a child, but you would infer potentially, depending on your familiarity,
Sure.
that this is probably a dwarf child, and that's why they seem
Okay.
extra small. Excuse me. So you approach this small dwarf child, and they look up at you, neck craned almost all the way back, and they go, "Oh, you want to ask my daddy about the staff? Yeah, he's inside." And he points to the big farmhouse. "I can go get him for you." And before you can respond, he just kind of toddles off.
Okay. I'll just kind of like not chasing after, but just kind of like walking behind like a distance so I don't look hostile or anything like that. And just make my way.
Compared to his leg stride, you don't really even have to chase after him to
Yeah,
even
yeah.
moderately keep up. So yeah, you do your best to kind of pace yourself behind this child as he runs up to the door of the house and disappears inside. You can hear his little voice yelling through the house, and you hear somebody responding him to tell him to quiet down before an adult dwarf man comes outside. He looks very much the image of both a dwarf and a farmer. So you think you would have known that this was him even if you didn't have the confirmation of him coming out of the farmer's house based on
Sure.
appearance alone.
Yeah, and I'll just essentially say,
Oh, you
I
got
assume you're Farmer Smith. I heard you found an object in your field. I was curious if you wouldn't mind showing me where You found it. I'm trying to find out more information about it. I'm a bit of a scholar, and I'm curious what I can find out.
Well, I suppose I can lead you there, but you just be careful. I don't want strangers just tromping through my fields, messing up the crops.
I wouldn't dare.
So he will turn away from the house and start heading in the direction of the field, presumably expecting you to follow.
And I'll just ask him like
You
general
will.
questions if you don't mind. Just kind of if he knew anything about it or had any suspicions or just kind of what he thought, even if it's just like superstition or something.
I'm not much for magic myself. I never had the skills nor the interest in it. But all I can tell you is that staff is definitely magic. The sound that it made when it appeared from the sky could have woke the dead. If it wasn't already during a thunderstorm, I'm sure everybody in town would have heard it. But because it was ill timed, nobody believes me when I say the sound that occurred. And he makes a mildly concerning sound that definitely does not sound like thunder,
Hmm.
but could maybe be conflated as thunder if it happened during a thunderstorm.
Sure.
You would probably describe it as some kind of maybe some kind of dangerous creature screech of some sort, but
Sure.
you wouldn't be able to discern who or what. And you don't know if it's based on his impression of it
Yeah.
or if that's you just don't know what would make a noise like that.
Okay.
Uh oh, you how's it like what other questions did you have? Do you
No,
know
just
anything
if
about
yeah, I assume he doesn't know a ton, but I'll just kind of be like, no, I'm just more curious along the lines of where it occurred. I'd like to kind of investigate where you found it, but then I'll just kind of walk with him until we get there.
Yeah, so he will have been leading you through the field this whole time, and you'll eventually get to a seemingly random spot. But if you observe, the crops here seem to have been cleared somewhat,
Sure.
so it makes the area a bit more distinctive because there's nothing there. It's not a very big area, but big enough for the staff to have fit in.
Is it
It
like
felt
burned or anything, or is it more just like an impact cleared it kind of a thing?
you suspect it might have just been like an impact because if you look at it, it's just bare earth. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, and in fact, there is a little bit of grass and such there grown now. As it since it's wide open and not occupied by other crops, it allowed room for like weeds and things to try and creep in.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him if he minds if I try something a little weird. I'll try not to damage his crops at all.
What does weird mean?
I wanted to I want to hit the staff with a little bit of lightning and see if it reacts in this location. It's a bit of a long shot, but
So you're going to put the staff in this patch of dirt and then strike it with lightning to see if something significant happens? Just make sure
yeah.
I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah, it's definitely just the thoughts of the thunderstorm and the staff being here. I don't know if the staff, like the location is relevant, but I'm curious if it has like a property or like an aspect towards lightning specifically, or if it's just kind of a coincidence that this all happened during a thunderstorm.
Okay. Yes. So if you explain that to the farmer, he does look at you kind of like confusedly as you explain your idea to him. I mean, if you can guarantee it doesn't hit anything but this spot, I suppose that's fine. I'm somewhat hesitant to allow you to just fling lightning around my crops, though.
Uh, I'm just thinking. Um, I'm also trying to figure out if I would risk destroying the staff if I hit it. An average staff is like 14. Can I accidentally do that much damage? I definitely can. um, I'll hold off for now and just kind of like jokingly dismiss the thought and be like, I'm just messing with you, and ask him if he's heard of any other oddities happening besides the townsfolk believing that they were having their wishes granted.
I mean, other than the wishing thing and this whole Peter Rod, uh, I don't think there's been anything, at least nothing that I've noticed. But you know who keeps track of that sort of thing? Uh, Jamie. Jamie fancies herself something of a witch, although she doesn't have any magical skill to speak of. She, she's an insult to magic kind. I swear she just makes stuff up.
Where would I be able to find this Jamie? Jamie the
She
witch.
usually finds herself wandering around the woods at the edge of town, collecting ingredients for potions. I I've never tried one of her potions personally, but I get the feeling that they probably don't work right.
Could you describe Jamie for me?
Yeah, she's about yay tall, and he's stretching his arm over his head as he says this.
Yeah.
Uh, Curly brown hair. She usually has on a tattered cloak. I think she does it more for the aesthetic than the lack of being able to get a new one or fix it. I don't know why she insists on being a stereotype, but it's her life, I guess. As long as she doesn't put any curses on my fields or whatever, I don't have a problem with her eccentricities.
Okay. And you're saying she's probably that way in the fields usually? Does she have a home or anything in the city?
Oh yeah, she lives. He will describe a location in the sort of like residential district that you pass to get here.
I'll just say
Yeah.
that I thank him and I'll it's like in the middle of the day, I'll if the fields are close, I'll go check and see if I can find her. If not, I'll head back in town and see if I can find the house.
So yes, you are able to, thank him and make your way to the woods on the edge of town. This area being mildly familiar, as this is where the well was located, but you don't have to go in as deep this time. And you just make your way around the circumference of the town, trying to spot this vision of anybody wandering around in the woods. And you do eventually come across somebody that matches the description that he gave you of this self proclaimed witch.
All right, so then I'll just give a knock on the door, I guess.
Well, you're outside and you see her
Oh, I
outside.
saw her outside. My bad. I missed that. I'll walk up and say, "Hello. My name is Botanus. I was wondering if you had heard anything or any rumors about a mysterious object appearing in Farmer Smith's field."
Initially, when you approach her, she looks somewhat weary because you're a stranger. But once you ask about the mysterious item that appeared in the field, you can see her eyes light up and she looks visibly excited. Oh, yes. I've asked many questions about that. I am sure Farmer Smith is somewhat sick of me at this point, but he's always been more patient with me and my investigations than some of the townspeople. So I try not to bother him too much. He said that it appeared in his field randomly during a thunderstorm, and there was a terrible sound. But everybody else just thinks it was lightning. But I believe him. I think it was something else. But since I didn't hear it myself, I couldn't begin to guess what it was. He described the sound to me, but I've never heard such a ghastly noise. Hopefully, I never encounter whatever made it.
Have you made any discoveries yourself about its origin or what could have caused it, or are you just wary of what it might be?
Well, I did a bit of investigation myself. Some of it, while Farmer Smith was there, and some of it while he wasn't. But you have to keep that secret. You see, I waited until nighttime because that's when the item appeared to see if maybe whoever left it would come back to reclaim what was theirs. And I saw a shadow, or maybe it wasn't a shadow, but it was dark, and I saw a dark figure in the field roaming around. But I hid before I could see whatever it was up close because the field is too open, so there's not many hiding places, so I couldn't get too close. And I want you to just roll me an insight real quick.
Yeah, sure. Yes. Insight?
Yes.
Not great. 5.
Okay, yeah. So you're listening to her tell you about her personal secret nighttime investigation, and she's describing this shadowy figure and how mysterious and potentially dangerous it seemed. And this all sounds like something that definitely could have occurred.
How long ago was this?
Oh, it was probably a little over 2 months ago. That's when the item appeared, and so I investigated as soon as possible so as to not lose the trail of the creature. I came a few nights in a row, but I only saw it that first one, so maybe it gave up when it couldn't find it immediately. But if it was me and I lost something that seemed so important, well, I would keep coming back. But obviously, I couldn't spend all my nights hanging out in the field hoping to see the mysterious figure again. When Farmer Smith gave the staff to the town head, I was a bit disappointed because I was hoping he would give it to me to investigate, but I understand his decision. He told me that it might be dangerous and that he didn't want anything bad to happen to me. And as you say this, you do note that Jamie does seem to be a bit young. Like she's probably like an adult teenager, if
Okay.
you had to guess.
By chance, what are you familiar with the townsfolk casting wishes? Do you know when that started?
Oh yes, that was an eventful time period in our town when all of our wishes were being granted. Well, I went there once myself, but I think maybe I was too late because it doesn't seem like my wish came true, which was disappointing. But seeing everybody else's wishes was definitely intriguing, and it gave me many things to investigate. In fact, I was still investigating, but it seems like all the wishes are gone now. That's a bit sad. I wonder what happened.
That is unfortunate, but sometimes meddling in those types of magic can not be worth the short-term gain. Uh, how long has that been going on for? Or how long have been people seeking wishes?
Oh, I think it was something like 2 weeks, maybe? Or at
Okay.
least that's when people started talking about it. Uh, I didn't hear about it until about a week ago myself. I think they were trying to keep me away from it because they knew it was something that I would look into because everything magical I just find so fascinating. But well, I'm not very good at it, but I try my best.
Um, I I thank her for her time and hmm, thinking. Before that, I'll say this town seems to be having a lot of interesting events. Has anything else weird occurred recently?
Recently? Well, it was the strange lights that I saw on the edge of the woods. Uh, I only see them at sunset and only for a little while before they disappear again.
Whereabouts is that? And I'll just kind of like ask her to, if you could maybe point me in the direction.
She points you in the opposite direction of where you came and where you're both standing currently.
Sure.
Usually over there is the best spot. It's right on the edge of town where the woods start getting thicker. I think maybe the lights are trying to hide, but I'm always out here, so I see them.
I'll just let her know. I think I might stick around and see if I can observe the phenomenon you speak of. And I'll thank her for her time and wish her well in her kind of pursuits of magic. And then I'll kind of walk to the edge of the field or the woods or whatever it is and find like a kind of like a stump or a rock or something to prop myself on, and I'll just like read and maybe eat a little bit of my rations and stuff and wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna step away for a sec though. I'm gonna be like 2 minutes. Just give me a minute here.
Okay.
I'm back.
So you decided to wait on the edge of the woods until sunset to see if you could spot these lights that Jamie mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you find a rock to kind of relax against and just try to read and be casual until the sun sets. As the sun starts going down, you will eventually start seeing uh little flickers of light on the edge of the woods, flittering through the trees.
I'm going to 1 second. I'll make sure I actually understand how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just going to. Or how many level 1 spells do I have? 3. Yeah, I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to start walking towards the lights.
Okay. Roll me a survival roll.
16.
So you start following these lights, trying to get a closer look, or are they
Yeah.
going somewhere?
Yeah, see if
Or
they're
do you
like
feel
originating from
otherwise?
somewheres or yeah. Exactly.
So you get up close, or you attempt to get up close, and you do see these these glowing lights do appear to be all going in a singular direction, but you do know as you get up close to them, these lights appear to be lightning bugs.
Can I don't think I have any little vials or anything. Just 1 sec. Inventory. I have ink, but I don't have like an ink bottle. Other than okay. Um I'll just kind of laugh to myself a little bit. Um and I'll do kind of like one more little investigation to kind of like make sure nothing's weird about it. Um or that there's not like yeah, if there's anything weird about it or if it's just literally just bugs, I guess.
Okay, roll me an investigation.
22. That was dangerously close to being a 4 though.
You really should have been at the last session because these rolls would have helped them. The fight would have ended much faster. But yeah, you investigate to see if these lightning bugs are mysterious or if they're just lightning bugs. And they do appear to just be lightning bugs, but there is something notable as that they do all seem to be traveling in one direction instead of just flickering around aimlessly as bugs are usually wont to do.
Okay. I'll kind of like if they're actually like heading in a direction, I'll follow the path and kind of like investigate kind of the trail they're taking and see if there's anything notable along my way, but I'll I'll follow them for a bit if possible.
You are able to follow the path these lightning bugs are taking, and it leads you a little bit deeper into the woods. There are still a little bit of light from the sun as it continues to make its way beyond the horizon, but it is a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit darker. You do have dark vision, but just letting you know it's getting darker as you make your way deeper into the woods, following these bugs.
Yeah, I'll pursue as far as I can get with like my dark vision and stuff. If it gets to a point where it is like pitch black and I need to summon a light, I can. But I'll kind of do my best to navigate the forest and follow them for as long as I can, I guess.
Okay. So you follow these bugs as far as you think they're going to take you. And if the woods seem to start getting to a point where it's almost too dark, you would light a torch. The woods aren't so dense as to be pitch black, so it never quite comes to that point, but it is notably dark once you finally get to what seems to be the destination that these lightning bugs were leading up to. You don't know or you can't tell if these lightning bugs were maybe trying to lead somebody here in the first place, or if this is just like a daily journey that these things make and you just happen to be the one that followed them. But it does take you to a small, calling it a clearing would be generous, but it is sort of a spot in the woods that's less full of trees and shrubbery and more open. But it's probably only maybe 10 feet in diameter.
Okay.
And the lightning bugs just kind of swirl around in this spot aimlessly before flying up in the sky and seemingly going out of sight. You don't know if they just kind of go over the treetops and you just can't see them, or if they just continue flying up and up until they blend in with the stars.
I'll I'll cast dancing lights and try to light up the area a bit so I can get a better view of it for anything that stands out. So I'll summon the four of them and spread them out a little bit to kind of get like the biggest spread of light that I can in the small area.
You are able to do that. You make the dancing lights spread out in such a fashion as to make the area as lit up as possible wi- within their capabilities. As the clearing or the cleared space, rather, in the woods that you find yourself in is not that big. So the dancing lights are easily able to give you a passable amount of light, and you are able to see around pretty clearly. You do note that while there's not trees in the middle of this cleared out area, there does appear to be an assortment of different flowers and plants. And I don't know. Does your character know much about nature? or flowers or anything of that sort?
Probably not. I do have a +4 nature though, so actually just 1 second here. I'm trying to figure out where I got that from. What did I pick that gave me that? So I guess more than I expected. I think just general from my research being kind of broad, I guess. I do have like slightly higher than normal, I guess, understanding of stuff, but I can roll for it to see whether or not I'd be able to identify anything, I guess. 16.
Yeah, so you study these plants for a moment and you kind of note that these plants don't seem like they typically grow in this area. They seem somewhat out of place.
Um, do they look like they were like planted there or just unnaturally growing? Like, would there be like turned up soil or anything, or does it look like it's been, they just kind of grew from this area?
Well, you can't tell if these have grown here unnaturally or if they were planted, as the dirt that they're growing out of seems undisturbed.
Okay.
So it could be that they were planted long enough ago that
Yeah.
the earth has compacted around it, or if it was magic, then it just didn't disturb the soil as it sprouted out.
Um, rather than like take them or anything, I'm just gonna sit for a minute and you pull one of the lights towards me and just kind of like sketch out their general design or their shape, their pattern. And then I'll just kind of like wander the perimeter a little bit, just kind of see if there's anything else of note. And then if I guess if I don't see anything immediately in the vicinity, I'll just kind of spread the lights out as far as I can, which I think is 120 feet. Just one. Yeah. I'll spread them out kind of like to the edges of that. So I guess it'd be like a 60-foot radius around me and just kind of push the lights out to see if I can see anything kind of while I'm walking around.
Okay, so
And I guess they only last a minute, so I'll kind of like recast them as needed.
okay, brief disconnection issue, but I think everything's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, so you sketch the plants and then you just start walking around trying to see what else is out here.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can move the lights and manipulate them around you as you walk around, trying to in like, are you actively investigating, or are you just kind of like
Yeah.
passively walking around to see if there's
I'm
anything
just
else?
a little bit of both. I'm kind of walking around and trying to see if there's anything that stands out, like any type of constructions or if any of the area has been disturbed or like I don't have tracking or anything like that, but like just see if there's any obvious paths or anything I could kind of follow to see why this area is important, I guess.
Okay, so you explore around a little bit to see if there's anything else kind of notable in this vicinity that you find yourself in. And you do see a small sort of footpath leading between some of the trees. It looks like it's been well walked over, but not by anything human sized or, in your case, elf sized. It looks like it was something small that repeatedly went through this specific path in the woods over and over enough to tread a trail into the ground.
Sure. Would it be noticeable enough that if I turned the lights off or dismissed the lights, I would be able to follow it?
You could probably follow it in the dim lighting your dark vision would allow, as it is basically bare earth compared to like areas with grasses and things.
Yeah, so I'll attempt
But
to do that and see how far this leads me, I guess.
okay, so you can follow this path to see if it leads to another area of note or if it turns out to just be some sort of animal, burrow, or what have you. So roll me another survival or let's see, or nature. Up to you.
I'll do a nature.
Okay.
19.
Yeah, all your rolls have been really, really good, and it's just really funny to me because when you weren't here, everybody was doing kind of mid rolls.
It happens occasionally where you hit a bit of a streak, I guess. And then you have those games where just everybody's crit failing and stuff, so it's always fun.
Well, we haven't had much of that just yet. So lucky for them. Although somebody did break an essentially cursed mirror, so
Fun.
that was a choice. That was definitely a decision. That didn't happen during your group, but during one of the games, it, it was a mirror that had like a. They went. It was a dark, shadowy wood, and they sensed undead, and so he came out and yeeted the mirror.
Uh, yeah,
So
not a
that
good
was a
call.
choice.
It felt right in the moment.
So at any rate, you are able to follow this path and the dim lighting that your vision allows as the sun has fully set at this point in your travels to follow these lightning bugs. The path does lead you. At this point, you can't tell if it's still going deeper into the woods or if it's just staying on the fringes of the depth that you already found yourself in, or it could possibly be leading you farther out of the woods back towards town. As you're not super familiar with the area, you can't quite tell, and the darkness isn't helping. You don't feel like you're lost or anything, especially because you can just follow the path back to the clearing.
Sure.
But this just kind of an idle thought. As you follow this path, you wonder where exactly you are. Eventually, it will stop at what looks to be a big sort of like mound of earth. Uh, it kind of is reminiscent of a hill, but it looks like somebody dug a big pile of dirt and then grass just grew over it because it didn't get resettled.
Sure.
So it's like a man-made hill or animal-made. Somebody made this hill, whether on purpose or on accident.
Um, if the dirt is like loose, I'll kind of try to like brush it away with like my foot for a bit, and if I think it's not like substantial to get through it, I'll just kind of get my hands in there and pull away at it and see if there's anything notable. And obviously if I smell like stench or anything or get suspicious that like we're dealing with something that died, I'll leave it be, but I'll kind of try to check it out and see if I can unearth whatever it is, if the mound is covering something. But
Yeah, princess. Zell is on vacation, and they had to do something.
sure,
He did not specify. He just said he couldn't come.
no worries.
So yeah, we're just doing solo dolo because somebody showed up. So we were doing a thing, but it'll all tie together because improvising is the way of the DM. If you get too caught up in your plans, you'll be sorely disappointed most of the time,
For
probably.
sure.
Yeah, so you can kind of kick at this mound to investigate it to see if there's something of significance here, or if you're just like kicking at a
Third pile.
burial or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, oh, you don't have to feel bad. I mean, it happens sometimes, but getting to explore stuff by yourself means that also you get the opportunity to find cool stuff that you don't have to share.
True.
It's up to the player. So okay, so roll me an investigation real quick.
A 10.
So you kick at this mound of dirt to try to see if it's loose or if there's something in here of note or interest that maybe somebody was trying to hide or cover up. And you don't find anything inside of it. The dirt does crumble a little bit. It's not tightly packed, but it's tighter than just a loose pile of dirt would be because there is grass on top of it kind of holding it together. But once you get past that initial layer, it is looser than the fine dirt on the ground that has been trodden over and over and undisturbed. So you are able to kick through it to some extent, but you don't really see anything that would look like somebody might have been covering it up. The only thing that you kind of notice is that this dirt seems to be lighter than the dirt around it.
Hmm. Like, I don't know if my character would recognize it as like grave dirt or anything like that, but um
Does he have a history of digging in graves?
yeah.
He
um
does.
no. um
Oh, okay. Maybe he's an archaeologist. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, no, I'll give it a
I mean, like
yeah. Wizards and sorcerers
basically
can be
Indiana
pretty
Jones.
weird, so yeah. I'm an archaeologist. Um
I don't know if graveyard dirt is a component in D&D, but perhaps.
Yeah, I do think it is. Just one sec.
Now that I said it, I'm like, I wonder. No,
Grave Dirt D&D.
yeah, there are
Yeah,
spells
so
that use graveyard.
yeah, I know vampires use it. Like sleeping.
It's for necromancy spells, believe it or not. Surprising nobody, probably.
I'll roll Arcana, maybe, which is the arguable.
I think you could either roll Arcana or maybe History. It's one of those.
Yeah, they're the same. So I'll do Arcana just because I feel like I'm looking at it of more of like less Indiana Jones, more have I seen it from like a spell perspective. 17.
Yeah, so you note that the dirt is a little bit lighter, and you look back. Excuse me. And go, I wonder if this is graveyard dirt. So you investigate it a little bit closer. This doesn't look like graveyard dirt to you, or if graveyard dirt even has a specific look. But
Yeah.
what it does look like is that um it looks like it might be not dirt at all per se. It kind of looks like it might be sand, which is strange because you're in a forest.
Okay. Everything's weird, but I'm having trouble connecting the dots. So I'm just kind of like thinking to myself in terms of like the staff and the ladybug or the fireflies, and now this pile nearby. I don't like coincidences, so I'm trying to think whether or not it has something to do with the guy we found in the well. I'll expand my search to the area just a little bit more. And then I do think I'll take one of the flowers on my way back.
Okay, so you're gonna make your way back down the path that you came and take one of the flowers, and
Yeah.
then start looking elsewhere to see if there's anything else that you can find.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you take one of the flowers, roll me a perception.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, 14. I thought that was another 17 for a sec. It just took a sec to update. 14.
Yeah. So as you pick the flower, you kind of get the sense that you aren't alone in this spot in the woods, but you don't know or you don't see anything just yet. It just feels like there's another presence somewhere.
I'm gonna say, just like out of intuition, I guess, of like feeling like someone's there. I mean no harm. Care to make yourself known? I'm investigating here. And if you had any information, I would appreciate it. And I'm being kind of wary and looking around and see if I can see any movement or anything that would kind of let me know the general direction that maybe I feel that it's coming from.
You feel like whatever or whoever it is coming from behind you because it feels like there's eyes on the back of your neck and you feel goosebumps as your hair raises a little bit. Nothing acknowledges your call out. You get no response verbally, but you do hear some rustling. It's like the sound of something moving through the leaves.
I'll just move towards it a little bit and see if it seems like it's staying in the same spot or if it's moving further away, like if that's something I can perceive. And I guess if it does feel like it's moving away from me, I'll kind of like quickly summon the dancing lights again and I'll like thrust them in the direction that I think it's coming from.
Okay, so if you walk towards it and it feels like it's getting closer, you're gonna throw lights at it, but if it doesn't, you're not.
If I feel like I'm getting closer to it, I'll just keep edging towards it. But if I feel like it's moving away, I'll kind of thrust
Oh,
the
if it's
lights at it.
moving
Yeah.
away,
Yeah.
you'll press the lights at it. Okay, yeah, so you walk towards the sound in the general direction that it feels like something is at. And go ahead and roll me initiative. And also, actually, put your token on the board and then roll me initiative.
Okay.
Or
I'm a I'm a I'm a noob at this the digital thing. So where do I pull my token?
Okay, so on the Roll20 page is going to be on the right hand side at the top. It's the
I
third
found.
button.
Yeah.
The little book with
Yep.
sparkles.
Yeah, I found it. Yep.
Drag by the name, not the picture, specifically the name, or it won't work. And then just drag it anywhere onto the map.
Cool. I'll move here. Yeah, let's do that.
So you roll the 9 for initiative.
Yeah, and definitely not something my character excels at is going first. If a -1.
Well, we'll see if you are actually gone first. I didn't roll yet because I had to find an equivalent token. I'm gonna use. I saw it and I lost it. There, RP. Where did it go? Okay, well, I'll just use this. It's just a placeholder. This is not too.
Yeah, sure.
This, this is not the actual creature. This is just so you can see where it is visually.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have everything on here unless you buy stuff, which I'm not doing.
Yeah,
or I
no
make
worries.
it, which I could do, but that work.
Yeah, it's time consuming. So.
And you can ignore basically everything but the fact that it's right here in front of you. So then I'm going to roll initiative. And you don't experience being first much, and you still don't. Okay, sorry. Okay. So yeah, as you make your way through the woods, approaching whatever's making the sound, you come across a dust muffet or method, however you want to say that. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you're not, I can pull up a picture for you so you actually know what it looks like.
I just brought it up. That's okay. Cool. It's kind of like an imp situation. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just an ashy imp, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's just gonna do a cute little. It's just gonna slash at you, so nothing too crazy so far. What is the? It's +4 to whatever I'm about to roll here. 5, so that's a 9. I imagine a 9 doesn't hit, but I'll ask anyway.
It hits. I have a 9. Or is my armor class a 9 with mage armor? Just 1 second here. I'm gonna see if it's actually adding my armor class with mage armor. I don't think it did.
I don't know. Yeah, because
I don't think it added it. So it would be 9. It might no, yeah, because mage armor makes my AC 13.
Yeah, so 13 plus your dex modifier, which is
Probably nothing.
-1. So I
Yeah.
guess that makes it
12. Yeah, it's 12. Yeah.
That's terrible. Well, it's still higher than 9. So
I'm still good.
so 9 does not hit. So it slashes at you, and it just kind of hits your magical armor and does not penetrate through, wounding you at all. So it is your turn now.
I will. I'm gonna say I mean you no harm, but I will defend myself just to see if like it can comprehend talking. But I am also going to cast Firebolt at it.
I mean, you know,
The one time I roll terrible. Yeah. So I got good damage, but I did not. I got an 8, so I hit it.
Yeah, so an 8 does not in fact hit. So you shoot a firebolt at it after saying you mean it no harm.
But I will defend myself.
But what evidently you really meant that, so because you did not hit it. You could try to play it off as a warning shot, but it was fairly obvious you were actually attempting to hit it as a warning, and it did not succeed. So it is the Dust Muppet's turn. Methods? I think it's methods. So yeah, it's not too happy about the attempted firebolt. So it is going to take a deep breath and blow a giant cloud of dust at you. So I need you to roll me a dex saving throw.
3.
Yikes. So you are blinded until you can pass a saving throw or 1 minute passes, so it's probably going to be the first one. So that just gives you disadvantage on all your attacks.
Okay.
So it is your turn.
Is that an option? Oh, I would just roll twice and take the lowest, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a disadvantage toggle on.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
So one on roll 20, but
I will.
You heard Dust Muppet. It's method.
Method, yeah. I will try to hit it with another firebolt. That was a 9, which is a 15. and then I have disadvantage. That's better. So I guess it does
Well,
15. Does
lucky
15
for
hit?
you, yeah. So a
Cool.
15 doesn't have it. So go ahead and roll me that damage.
Awesome. 9.
9.
I don't know if that shows up in the tabletop or not. Where's the...
The 9 shows up, yeah.
Oh, cool. Spells are working now. Awesome.
So you shoot at this creature and you hit it with a solid blast of fire. As it makes impact with the dusty skin, it seems to catch every mote of dust and magnify the power of your spell as it just in a blinding flash of fire just kind of shrivels to dust. Um, but as it dies, it lets out a screech and kind of explodes.
Okay.
But you are far away enough that it does not hurt you at all. But you suspect, had you been closer, that might have been uncomfortable.
Like a death AoE. Oh, death burst. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like with his dying breath, it's trying to take people out.
Um so it's just like, is it essentially just it turns into like a pile of ash or sand or something on the ground?
Yeah, it just kind of bursts into a fiery. Well, it's not really dust on the ground because you burnt it up, so
Sure.
it did burn away. Had you like done a force damage or something, it probably would have been a pile of dust on the ground. Yeah. So you are still blinded for a minute, but you can probably just stand there peacefully
Rubbing my
as it
eyes and being
fades
like, oh
away.
gosh, dang
Just
it.
like,
Yeah.
it just feels like when you wake up with sleep in your eyes, but 8,000 times worse. So
Um
once you are able to see again,
yeah.
what do you do?
I'll kind of investigate a little bit around where it was. But and if there's anything left of it, but I guess I'm gonna try to find out, like, is it you're protecting something, or like trying to understand why this singular creature would be here.
Okay. Yeah, roll me an investigation.
11.
Yes, you look around to see if there's anything to give you a clue as to why this creature was here. Was it just here by chance? Was it guarding something? Did something trigger it to appear? And you find another mound of dirt similar to the one that you discovered previously that had sand in it.
Hmm. I don't know if disturbing the mound caused, but yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll take a look and kind of unearth it a bit and see if there's anything I can figure out from it.
Okay. Roll me another investigation.
I thought you were gonna say initiative there.
No, Yeah. Roll me another initiative.
Investigation. Only in, geez, 8.
You do discover that there was more sand in this pile of dirt. So it does lead you to believe that it's somehow related to this creature, as this creature was also seemingly made of dust or controlled it or something.
Okay. This seems to be some type of, because I don't know if these creatures are natural or summoned or anything along those lines. So I'll see if I can find more and if they seem kind of like more centralized in an area, or if they're just spread out, if there doesn't seem to be any reason to it.
So you're looking around to see if you can find more sandy piles of dirt.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a nature as you explore this section of the woods to see if there are more
Oh my
piles
goodness.
of dirt, and if so, are they in a pattern or random? You don't find any other piles of dirt as you kind of explore this vicinity, and if you go back to the area that you know the other one was located, it doesn't seem like any kind of discernible like distance or like the placement doesn't seem significant because it doesn't seem like, oh, like maybe this is diagonal from each other, or maybe there it's a point or something. It just kind of seemed like a random spot in the circumference of this area.
I'm half tempted to wait for daylight to see if it helps, but it feels dumb, but I'm going to take the rod and I'm
Okay.
just going to put it in one of the mounds.
Okay, you're just gonna stick it in there, or
Yeah.
you're gonna like bury it.
I'm going to kind of just like shove it in to a point where it's kind of like standing on its own.
Okay, just roll me a flat d20.
We're going mid numbers now. 11.
So you stick the piece of staff that you have into this mound of dirt to the point where it's standing straight up in the air in an attempt to see if like maybe this will trigger something, or
Yeah.
maybe something else will happen. And you just kind of look at it sitting there in the dirt for a moment, and you get the impression that nothing is probably going to happen right now.
All right.
Also, which pile of dirt did you stick it in?
The not the we'll go with the second one I found
Okay,
because I didn't tear that one all up, I guess.
fair enough. So you're standing here looking at the staff, standing in this pile of dirt, and it doesn't appear that anything is happening. And you get the sense that nothing probably is going to happen. But you don't feel as though you're terribly off base, but you can't quite figure out what it is that you should be doing. But you have a feeling it has something to do with these piles of dirt.
I will try the other one as well.
Okay. So you try to
And
stick.
if it does nothing, I do think I'm going to resort back to my original idea, which was equally as not great at risk of damaging the staff, but I think I'll still try it anyways. But I'll shove it in and I'll observe it and see what happens.
Okay, roll me just another flat d20.
11.
Okay. So you stick the this piece of staff into this pile of dirt in an attempt to see if something will trigger. And as you're shoving it in there, it feels like it hits something.
Okay. I'll just kind of no, I won't like poke at it. I'll dig a bit and just see if I'm unearthing something or if it's just rock or whatever. But I'll try digging a little bit further down and see what I can find.
You start digging through this pile of dirt that you previously disturbed because when you were kicking at it before, you kind of just kicked at the front and discovered that it was full of sand and stopped. But now you're more actively digging into like the center of it,
Sure.
where you had stuck the staff and felt it make an impact with something. It's not a very deep pile of dirt, so you're easily able to push it out of the way pretty quickly for the most part. And you see about a maybe like two palms wide, like a small wooden chest in the spot where you had stuck the staff.
Okay. I'll try my best to kind of unearth it to the point where I can pull it out.
Yes, you're able to do that pretty easy. The chest isn't very big, so once you just kind of shift the dirt around it, you should be able to pull it out.
I'll just kind of brush it off a little bit and clear it of the dirt and see if it's locked or if I can open it or
So you examine it to see if you can get into it easily, and you do see that it is locked.
am I just out of the whole not trusting coincidence thing that I'm going on? I'm going to try my key on it.
Okay, so you try to stick the key that brought you to this area in the first place in an attempt to open this chest. And roll me another just d20. Oh.
I don't know how
You
keys work.
you don't know how keys work. So yeah, so you try to stick the key in the hole, and you don't know if maybe the keyhole is warped, but it doesn't seem to even want to go in the space. Because normally, even if the key is wrong,
Yeah.
it'll at least go in, but it's not even doing that.
Um, since the box is so small, I'm assuming it's probably not incredibly sturdy, so I'm gonna try just like jamming my dagger in it and popping the lid.
Okay. Roll me an attack roll. So if you have your dagger set up, roll me a dagger attack for its chest.
I don't have it equipped. Second here. Well, I guess it would be. I could just roll my one arm strike and say it's my dagger. I guess.
Yeah, the roll is the same, or if
Yeah.
there's something that you need to add, you can just do it manually.
It's 30-20.
Yeah, so you are able to stab into this chest pretty easily with the amount of force that you're using. Roll me a damage roll for your
Which I think is just like a D4 or something. Dagger damage 5e. Yeah, it's D4. So I'm just gonna roll 4. 2.
one before. Listen. No. I think once more. It's just really
I just went into my character and I equipped the dagger. So it's actually a 1. I get a -1. Oh, maybe that's not throw. 1 second here. Nope, that is a -1. Yeah, so it's 1 damage with my dagger.
Isn't it? Why do you have?
I have an 8 strength and a 9 dex.
Oh, so it is. And I was like, well, like it's a negative.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. No,
I have very extreme rolls in different, like I've got like an 18 con and an 18 intelligence because of like ability scores and stuff on top of it, but I have a very bad strength and a very bad dexterity and like an average wisdom charisma.
strength is so poor that it undoes damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll whittle away at it for normal, like more than it would normally take somebody to do, I guess.
Okay. Roll. Okay, roll me another attack. Definitely gonna take more than one to open this chest. Hopefully next time we'll do it. It's funny though.
13 to hit and 3 damage from a 4. So I got a 4, but 3 damage.
Okay, so you stab at this chest a few times, trying to force it open. And the first time you only nick it a little bit, you hack at it again, and you take a significantly bigger chunk out of it this time. And it does seem to open. It feels like it reluctantly pops open. And you are able to see the contents of it now. It just looks like a lone scroll from your initial glance at it.
Am I able to read it?
Um, roll me a history.
14.
So you unfurl the scroll that you find inside the chest, and whatever it says is incomprehensible to you, but something about it does seem somewhat familiar. Like it's a language you've seen before, but just don't speak.
Sure. I'll double check I didn't miss anything in the other mound and kind of do like a bit of a sweep to make sure that I didn't miss a potential third one in the vicinity. And then I'll kind of start making my way back to town, I think.
Okay, yeah, so just roll me another investigation.
Another 14.
So you do another quick sweep to see if there's another mound or if there's something in the other mound, and you don't find neither a mound nor anything of note in the other mound. You look through the pile and you will find another chest, but this one appears to be empty. So you wonder if maybe that one was a decoy, or if somebody else found what was in it and was able to open it without destroying it and just put it back.
Sure. I'll keep this chest where it's intact so I can kind of like see if it's a particular make or anything. My intent would be to probably find a place to rest for the night and then make my way back to the guild hall, but I might also ask, well, I feel like the people around here don't have a ton of knowledge about the going ons. It's more about like superstition and stuff, but yeah, I'd probably do that then. I'll keep the box and kind of cautiously make my way back out of the woods.
Okay, so you are able to make your way out of the woods, kind of retracing your steps, and make your way back to the small town. If you are trying to spend the night somewhere and then make your way to the guild hall in the morning, the small town does have an inn that you could rest at. Otherwise, you could camp on the outskirts of the woods. That's more your vibe.
Yeah, I think rather than bug anyone in the middle of the night, I'll just kind of camp out in a spot that seems nice, maybe off to the outskirts of the farm, like near the fence maybe, and just kind of like get a spot in the grass and pull my pack up and crash for a few hours.
Okay. So if you have anything else you want to do in town in the morning, we can do that. Otherwise, you just sleep through the night and then make your way back to the guild hall the
I,
next day.
I'll ask the mayor, I guess, or kind of the head of the town, if he's ever heard of either dancing lights in the woods or anything about like small creatures or anything in the woods rumors.
Yeah, if you go to the
L, I
leader
guess. Yeah.
that, you're like, well, if as far as twinkling lights, I don't know if you've been talking to Jamie, but that's just fireflies. There's nothing inherently mysterious about that. As far as weird creatures in the woods, I don't think we've got any reports of anything like that matching. I assume you gave them like the description. Like, I don't think we have anything that anybody's seen that matches that description. Is that something you encountered?
I'll I'm hearing lots of stories and rumors and trying to just make sure there's nothing else kicking around to affect your town while I'm around, but it seems like everything is pretty much good to go now. But I wanted to thank you again, and glad I was able to help previously. If you ever need anything, let us know, and I'll kind of start making my way back. And as I'm walking, like occasionally taking a peek at the scroll and seeing if my memory jogs or anything, but I'll just intend on bugging the guild again, see if I can find anything, or if I can find like a book with a similar text or anything like that. That'll be kind of my goal for the day when I get back.
So wish the town leader a good day after they confirm they haven't seen anything, and kind of try to reassure them that, like, oh no, it's just rumors, and just making sure there's nothing weird out here. If you didn't want to worry anybody that there was in fact something weird out here, then they thank you for your help, and keep in mind if they need anything else. And you make your way, make my way downtown.
Yeah. Just whistling to myself the whole way back.
Peeking at this text to see if you can figure out what it is. If you just keep staring at it and it's still not coming to you, but once you finally do make your way back, you can make your way to the library and determine if there's anything in there that might help you. Or if you wanted to ask, I wasn't sure if you wanted to research it or ask somebody.
Yeah, I'd probably like I my character would probably typically try to figure it out myself if possible. If there were documents available that I could find that maybe was that language, like even if it's just like skimming like the spines of books or whatever it is, to see something similar. And then if not, I'd probably resort to asking somebody.
Okay, so roll me a investigation, because you're looking to see if you can find anything that matches this versus your memory, because you already know it's familiar, but you're just not sure what it is.
18.
Okay, so you look through the library to see if you can find a matching sort of language for whatever the scroll is, and you don't find an exact match, but you do find something that is similar, and you think that maybe there's a language related to this that it could be, but whatever that is just isn't located in this library.
Gotcha.
So at least you have a comparison, and maybe if possibly it shares some of the characteristics of this language. So perhaps bare minimum you could use it as a very
loose, yeah,
fast and loose translation of what this scroll is, and then maybe find the correct information at a later time.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind trying that to just kind of get like the gist of what it might be about. for the context.
So you spend some time trying to see if you can like very roughly translate what this is. And based on what you can kind of henpeck out, you think that it might be a spell scroll, and you think that it might have something to do with summoning something.
Sure.
You're not sure if it's a creature or if it's like summoning a person, like a transportation spell or
Okay.
something. You just kind of get the gist that it's moving something from point A to point B.
Okay. Cool.
And you don't know if it's instructions or if it's a spell proper.
I will ask Agatha if she made any progress on the staff.
Uh, yeah, sort of. I had one of our magic item people from the town over, and you will understand this to be the town that's about 30 minutes away that they always advise you can go to get like potions of healing stuff because they don't keep
Sure.
that in stock here. And from their best guess, this appears to be part of a mage staff of some kind of like their focus, but it's missing pieces, which I'm sure you figured out for yourself. And we don't know who it might have belonged to and or how it got to where you found it. And it would probably be easier for them to investigate it if they actually had it, but based on the information I could give them, that was their best guess.
If I were to make my way there, is there who's your contact?
If you just head to the big magic shop, it's the owner. Very hard to miss, but I wouldn't put it past some of these adventurers to walk right past it. And she says this like this is something that has in fact happened. But like the keys summon who they summon, and not all of them are necessarily the brightest. Great, I'm not talking about you specifically, but if the shoe fits,
Yeah, I will thank her for taking the time to look into that for me. I ended up going back to the town and they weren't much help, so I might make my way there when I'm finished doing some research on my end. The call outs.
that's fine. Did you need anything else?
No, I'm unless you had anything for me.
I don't have anything in particular unless you want a mission, but it looks like you were gone all night, so probably best you hold off on that.
Yeah, nope, sounds good. I think I'll chase this thread a little bit. And if you hear from Yingwei, Donovan, or Syria, let them know where I went.
I will consider it. Did you have anything you wanted to tell them in specific, or just tell them where you are?
Just if they're looking for me, I'll be there for a few hours before I head back.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of like glance away because I know I've kind of exhausted her patience, I guess. And yeah, I'll set off to head in that direction, but I'll probably call it for myself. I'm gonna probably go crash here, but I'd like to pick up if possible next week and check that out, and we'll sync back up with the group and stuff if people are around. But
Yeah, you definitely have time to do a little side quest in the morning. So.
even if it's just, hey, magic person, identify the scroll for me because I don't have that yet.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up for the evening. Since you were the only one here, it narrows it down a little bit. But what was the most notable event of today's game for you?
I just like the investigation stuff. I like the idea of trying to find something from nothing to some extent. Like I know my character was just kind of going on a tangent of investigating the staff where not a ton of leads or anything, but I do like the kind of wandering around and trying to figure out some type of guidance, even if it's misguided in its nature to begin with. But I find sometimes, like, even when I'm running games and you have players and they'll go on like little weird tangents, so I enjoy it.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad this little solo adventure ended up being, fruitful for you. I did not expect it to be a solo adventure, but that was part of it was me forgetting that Zell had in fact told me he was.
I 100% forgot about that too. He's been saying that for a while, so.
And then just Fate being unavailable. Today's not his day anyway, so I wasn't really expecting that. But
Yeah.
that could have been a good backup with, you still got some stuff done, and maybe it's related, or maybe it's a side quest. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go, yeah.
Only time will reveal what's going on.
For sure.
All right, so I think that's a good spot to wrap up. And we just got out of the ad, so people are actually here to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up for the day. We will be back again on Tuesday. And unless they had pants, yes, Fate, you are special because you have a sub, so you don't get ads. Anyway, thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
Same bat time, same bat place.
Won't be on call next week, so it should be good. It's always a gamble every other week, so should be good to go.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a cute little raid out for all the people here watching. I want to thank everybody for lurking, for chatting, for Fate being a menace. Yes, Fate. Gabby also has pants that you purchased for her. I want to thank Gabby for also being a menace. And Fate is a menace. Princess wasn't actually a menace to me today, so you get a pass for the one time. But yeah, thank everybody for rolling through. And so we're gonna go ahead and raid. I can speak English. Raid our fellow Yin Cityan Abby. So everybody, well, I don't actually know if you need to behave over there. It's none of my business. But
She makes
try
the
not to be
rules.
try not to be too out of pocket. Anyway, everybody, have a good night, good evening, whatever time zone you're in.
Thanks again for the sesh. Hope you have a great night. Have a good one.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
And yeah, if anybody's checking out the stream here, appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully next time we'll have everybody join, but it's all good. And peace.